Dear Mom and Dad, your only son is going out to another march, standing up for something that I believe in. Mom, I know I'm your only child, so I'm gonna ask you from a son's point of view, please don't be scared for me because, like we always grew up knowing God got us. And as long as we stay within his will and faith, we'll be okay. Dad, growing up in Harlem, New York, at the times you did, I know it was never easy, but I want to say thank you for always being an example. I love you guys. Can't wait to see you again. And I can't wait to tell our kids and your grandkids about the history of you guys, the history I made, and the history they will.
I protest because I'd like to live in a world where it doesn't take a violent video for us to care about Black and brown bodies. I protest because I believe in the ability of community to keep each other safe and truly safe. I protest because I'd like to imagine a world in which we don't need police. We don't need them. I protest because I believe in the power of protest. I've seen it, I've felt it, and I know that it's real.
I'm an activist from Congo, currently living in New York. There is so many reasons why I go to protest in the US. The first one, of course, as everybody, I'm very revolted by the killing of George Floyd and many others before him. But also, what the situation of Black people all over the world. It's about economic and systemic injustice that they are facing globally. It's about the long-term consequences of racial policies of during the colonization in Africa. It's about economic discrimination in the US. It's about all that different barriers that Black people are facing in the Europe.
I protested today because I wanted to show my solidarity with Black Lives Matter and take the knee somewhere safely and in a peaceful manner. What I dream for in the future is that my children will grow up with the same opportunities as any other child, irrespective of their skin color. Opportunities in terms of education, not ending up in jail, and fulfilling their life's potential.
So we're out here protesting on Hollywood in Los Angeles, and we're protesting against police brutality. We're protesting against housing discrimination. We're protesting against racial discrimination. We're protesting against a system that tells us that we should be okay with being oppressed. We are no longer standing in silent oppression. We are making our oppression heard, and you should join us.
My motivation for participating in this movement is to build an equitable future for my children. Growing up in New York City during the Stop and Frisk era, I realized quickly that life was different for Black and brown folks when dealing with the police. From getting a gun pulled out on me at the age of 12 after school to just simply observing the distrust and tension between the Black community and law enforcement. I don't want my kids to grow up in a world with that type of fear. My goal for the movement is to, besides building accountability and transparency within the police force, is to not have anxiety when having interaction with the police, to trust that the ones whose job it is to protect and serve doesn't have a history of abuse. I simply just want justice, equality, and comfort in my own skin.
أنا اسمي سرباز الشيخي، سوري الجنسية، ساكن بأربيل في العراق. في مجتمع عنصري لا يكفي أن تكون غير عنصريا، يجب أن تكون مناهضا للعنصرية. العنصرية هو أخطر تهديد للإنسان وليس هناك عذر لها. فكونوا مدافعين عن حقوق الإنسان وكافحوا العنصرية. إننا حاليا نمر بوقت تزداد فيه العنصرية، يجب علينا اتخاذ مواقف ضدها. لا مزيد من العنصرية في العالم.
I think it's about time that we stand for what is right and we really fight for equality, for justice. The fight that we're fighting here is not just an American problem. It's a global issue that needs to end. And I think it's so powerful because for the first time I've seen masses of non-Black people create initiatives to fight for Black lives. And I think in the future, we need more of that. We need non-Black people to be as outraged as we are, as hurt as we are. Sure, they may never fully understand, but I think that they can empathize, they can stand in action, they can say something, like enough of the silence. I think it's time for us to have these conversations and to fight, to make sure that this is the last of it.